GMGP, good morning, good people. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but y'all decided to wake up with us. You're sick. You're sick in the head. There's a lot of fantasy football shows out there, but I promise y'all, they not like us. Brock Bowers, you looked a little quicker than fast. What does that even mean? Redraft, dynasty, best ball, high stakes, we got you covered. And that's MVS and Justin Watson with some of the dopest tools designed to help you cancel out the noise and dominate your leagues. If there's a white wide receiver named Antoine, sign me up. Maybe it's cultural. I don't know. In season or off season, rain, sleet, hail, and snow, comma, semicolon, period, next sentence, to bring you the most actionable and entertaining content on YouTube. You don't go buy the dip on the Titanic.
Quarterback that you love, D-Bro. One of the best values in fantasy football.
Prop bets with my man JRich.
Is that yes! Let's go!
So wipe the crust out of your eye, get you a cup of coffee. It's time to wake y'all asses up. We're Ray
and Jay
in the morning.
My God.
How good is he? How good is he? Let's go, GMGP. It is Wednesday, September 17th, 2025. Y'all decided to wake y'all asses up with myself. And the man, the myth, the legend himself is back. Jordan Richards is back in the building. That's your boy JRich on X. He was out on Monday. It was Solo Ray. It's Polo Ray today, baby. It's Wednesday. It's hump day. We got NFL tomorrow. We got actionable stuff that we got to talk about from that exhausting long Monday Night Football game. Chargers, Raiders. We also had the Texans and the Buccaneers play. So there's a lot of things that we got to discuss. But in this show today, we're talking about 10 things we love / hate going into week 3. So I appreciate everybody being in the building. Let's see who we got. Yeah. Polo GQ in the building. I see you right there, Ollie. Ollie Gordon Truther. Yes, Polo GQ in the building, man. We got some work stuff we got to do today. What's up, Joe? What's up? I see Joe in the building. Patrick in here. Let's get it, big dog. MV Prof, welcoming you back. JRich, welcome back. J May Rich in the building. We got Rico Stone, Jimbo, Adam Zaff, Dom. What's happening with you? Keegan, Adam Zaff. We got the crew in the building. Jeff was popping with you. Alex C, good morning to you all. So check it out. We are not going to, last week what we did on Wednesday was we did like more of a week 2 kind of recap. I think we're done with week 2. We're done with week 2. We could talk about what we saw a little bit on Monday Night Football, but the goal of this show is to check the vibes, the temperature heading into week 3. Like, how are we feeling about these teams, these players, these situations heading into week 3? Now that we got all the week 2 data, you've heard everything. You've heard every other analyst talk about these situations and how they feel. So we're checking the temperature. We're checking the vibes today, heading into week 3. JRich, my man, how you doing, man? It's good to have you back, baby.
Yeah, it's good to be back. I'm happy to be back with the people. Obviously, I did miss the recap show, and I was a little upset about that, but we're here. We're headed into week 3, but I did have a lot of fun. I saw people asking, how was the wedding? It was fun. It was a long day. Up at 5 a.m., didn't get home till about 12:30 a.m. the next day because it was 3 hours up, there all day, and then 3 hours home. So it was good to be back, though. Tuesday, I was really tired, but happy to be back on the show. Excited to talk some ball, and thankful that I did not stay up to watch that Chargers-Raiders game because it was a bit of a sinker overall. So I was glad that I missed that game for sure.
There are things that we could discuss and talk about. Geno Smith did not play well in that one. My boy Geno didn't play well in that one, and Bowers was out there. I was excited for a big Bowers game. It didn't quite happen. The Raiders were pretty bad on Monday Night Football. But Jay, the premise and the purpose of this show today is really check the vibes heading into week 3 and talk about things that we really like. And it doesn't mean that those things are going to stick. It doesn't mean that that's going to be the narrative or the situation throughout the season. But right now, 2 weeks into the season, with the data, with the information, with real football being played, sort of just like, again, the vibes and how we're feeling going into week 3. You see the ticker scrolling at the bottom. We got the week 3 game lines, points, spreads, totals, all that good stuff. The people are in the building. And JRich, you did something to the stream today to where we should be able to react a little quicker with the audience. What you sped that up, right?
Yeah, I dropped the latency on the stream. I was looking through some of our stream settings. I was able to drop the latency. So I was checking it pre-stream. It should be about 4 or 5 seconds. So should get some great reactions from your questions and kind of get back to you guys a little bit quicker in the chat.
And just so y'all know, I am also working on this new thing to where we'll allow people to call in to the show and converse with us live during the stream. I've not forgotten about this, JRich. We got to get this set up. I want to talk to the people, damn it. I need Keegan to call into the show. I need Keegan to call into the show and tell us why he hates everybody in fantasy football. So we're going to get that set up real soon. We're going to have a lot of fun. But let's start this thing off, JRich, with sort of the first thing that I'm loving heading in to week 3 of the NFL season. I'm loving the situation. I'm loving how fruitful it is for us right now in fantasy football. And currently, this team in this situation has the number 2 overall scorer at the quarterback position, the number 3 overall scorer at the running back position. A top 5 tight end is housed inside of this offense. JRich, I didn't think we would be here. You didn't get to react with me on Monday, but I, again, was dead ass wrong, and I'm fearing the Bleacher Report stream because I didn't think there was a chance in hell the Indianapolis Colts would beat the Denver Broncos. But man, I am loving what's happening in Indianapolis right now. Shane Steichen has this offense 2 games in. It's humming. Daniel Jones, back-to-back games. I believe he's the first player, JRich, in NFL history to have 250-plus passing yards, a rushing touchdown in each game, and no interceptions to start the season. No turnovers, no fumbles, no interceptions, 250-plus passing back-to-back weeks, and rushing touchdowns in back-to-back games. Daniel Jones out here setting records for Indianapolis. They scored on every single possession in week 1, and then in week 2, they kept the train rolling against Denver, just putting up points against this defense that a lot of people didn't think they would be able to score against, that the Denver Broncos defense was going to bring them back down to earth, bring them back to reality. And so far, the Colts have just continued to keep it rolling 2 games in. Shane Steichen's made it easy for Daniel Jones. He's made it very easy for him, not asking him to overextend, not asking him to do too much. I'm loving this Colts offense heading into week 3, Jay.
Yeah, it's so hard with this Colts team because as much as, we said week 1, well, it's just the Dolphins. We know they suck. And then it's, well, now he's got Denver. How is he going to play against Denver? And he played great against Denver. I believe it was 10 straight drives without a punt, which was an NFL record until they ultimately did in that contest against the Broncos. Now, the question over whether they should have won that game is interesting because the leverage call that ultimately gave them the 15 yards and the missed kick turned into a made kick, and they won the game. They're 2-0. But this has kind of been my stance, at least week 1 with this team, is that the team is strong. It's just, can Daniel Jones be the answer at quarterback that they didn't have previously? You talked about Tyler Warren and how great he's been. He's already got comps to Brock Bowers because you look at his receptions, you look at his yardage. I think it's just the touchdowns that aren't quite there, similar to Bowers. But he's doing everything that Bowers did to start the season last year. And obviously they're off and firing. But it's because it's Daniel Jones, right? It's how long do you think it's going to take for people to finally buy in and say, this team is actually good. They can win, 10 games in the AFC because it's Daniel Jones. And I think this is where you and I have always loved Shane Steichen's offense, right? He's done a very good job when he was in LA with the Chargers, when he played with Philly, maximizing the talent around his players. And it's not built upon, I need 2 wide receivers, I need 2 running backs. It's literally maximizing the personnel he has, but now he has a quarterback that he's actually able to do that with. And I think people should be buying in. Like, Daniel Jones is a good quarterback, at least in this system. Now, could everything hit the skids and go wrong? Absolutely. And I do think there is a bit of, this is this year's Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones right now. But for as long as he's playing well, we should continue to believe in him and start him because the way this offense is running, it's Jonathan Taylor, it's Tyler Warren, and honestly for me, I have no interest in starting the wide receivers anyways. So because of that, it makes the decisions of who you want to start weekly on this offense very, very easy for me.
Listen, I'm not going to go so far as to say he's this good quarterback and he's turned into this high leverage quarterback in the NFL. I'm not going to go that far. But what he's doing is he's executing this offense, and the team is playing well around him right now. They have options to get the ball to. Josh Downs led them in targets this past week. I told people it's probably not Josh Downs is dead, but his upside is definitely capped in this offense now. Alec Pierce still getting used down the field. In this past week, what we saw was Jonathan Taylor finally got it going. He had a $160 plus on the ground. He carried the ball, 20 plus times in the 25. Matchup. And even still, Daniel Jones had 300 plus passing yards. Like, you can't, despite what you have thought about him for his entirety of his career, how you may feel about him. We're not talking about how this is going to play out for the remainder of the season. It's the vibes heading into week 3. And who do they play? The Tennessee Titans? They play the Titans here in week 3. Listen, Puka Davante and Davante Adams just went off against Tennessee last week. Kyron Williams had a game. Blake Corum got in the end zone. I don't think that Tennessee has enough firepower offensively to keep up with them. Sure, we'll see how he plays on the road, but heading into week 3, I'm just going to say this. I'm good for Daniel Jones. Good for a player that a lot of people wrote off, they cast off, for him to come in and execute this offense. And more importantly, whether you like him or not, you shouldn't give a damn if he's helping support the assets that you have in fantasy football. Like, things have been good for Jonathan Taylor. If you were able to draft him with your last round pick, you got Daniel Jones off of waivers, things have been good. It's fruitful for Tyler Warren. I bet you'd rather have that Tyler Warren right now over Colston Loveland and damn near every other rookie tight end in the NFL. So despite how your personal feelings about his longevity will be, is he this dynasty savior at quarterback? Probably not. But the way that he's operating this offense today, right now, heading into week 3, I love it.
Yeah, he's been great. And that's where I think people just had everything wrong with this team. And it's the reason why, honestly, Ray, I love to talk about play callers. I love to talk about scheme. And I love to talk about, like, what are these teams trying to do? Because even other situations, and we'll get to it later when we get to one of the situations that I love, the quarterback could be wrong, but the system can still be right. And it's just once you kind of get everything going together, that's where things can become great. And that's where, I don't know if we're talking about Minnesota much today, but Minnesota's a perfect example of it's like, if you don't have the right quarterback or the quarterback playing at the right level, it's just not going to work out the way you hoped it would. The system's great. The coach is great. The scheme's great. The players are great. But it still all depends on the quarterback. And it seems like Indy, at least for now, has a quarterback that can really work with and is thriving in this offense.
What's the spread on that game? I'm trying to see the points on the spread on this.
3.5.
3.5, Indianapolis?
It's either 2.5 or 3.5, I believe. Yeah, for Indy.
Yeah.
3.5.
Anthony Richardson, man, there's no point to even bring him up. There's no point to bring him up. After he was benched, that was a wrap. It was interesting to talk about him and exciting when they were like, oh, he's the leader in the clubhouse, but it absolutely looks like Shane Steichen and the Colts made the right decision. And in a division right now, Jay, the AFC South, dude.
Everyone's 0-2 but the Colts, right?
Yeah. Texans
or the Jags are 1-1.
Jags are 1-1. Texans are 0-2. And the Titans are 0-2. My question to you is, if they win this division, does Daniel Jones get extended? And I want to frame this conversation this way. I love college football. I'm tracking college football. I'm watching college football. Is there any quarterback right now inside of this projected 2026 draft class that can come in and be a better quarterback fit for their team than what we've seen 2 weeks in from Daniel Jones right now? Is there any quarterback that could come in and operate an offense to that level right now? I'm going to tell you right now, man, I haven't done my week 3 stock up, stock down. It's stock down. Garrett Nussmeier, stock down. Cade Klubnik, stock down. John Mateer, who's my QB. I love him, but everybody's like, Ray, he's a fun collegiate quarterback, but I don't know how his style of play is going to translate to the NFL. I'm just looking, and there are a lot of people who follow the college game who say the development at the quarterback position is as bad as it's ever been in college football right now. It's as bad as it's ever been. With transfers, people leaving, not getting the start. I just look around the NFL and I'm thinking, if this dude is, there's probably going to be 3 or 4 of these guys that people don't really like that get opportunity again next year, because the class isn't that good. None of those guys are coming in right now, at least 3 weeks into the college football season, and playing any better than what we've seen right now from Daniel Jones and Indy.
Yeah, and that's where, my head goes to Nussmeier. Like you said, Mateer, I think he profiles as a player that Steichen would want to work with. But again, can he actually run an offense and read defenses and execute? That's another conversation. Someone brought up Carson Beck. Carson Beck is an interesting player in that respect, right?
I like Beck.
He's doing a lot of good things in Miami. We know he's got plenty of experience, which is kind of like the number one thing we look for now in terms of translating to the NFL quickly. But do I think he can execute the offense? Maybe potentially. And again, playing at Georgia, the things he's seen versus other players and their career arcs is very, very different. Like Mateer going from Wazoo and ultimately to Oklahoma in the SEC for one season, played a few games, very different.
Yeah.
But Jones getting extended is tough. I think you'd probably be looking at a Sam Darnold deal, but the way the Colts quarterback position has been recently, I think they would have to. Yeah. Especially if they win the division.
If they win the division, he's getting extended. He's getting an extension.
But what does that extension look like, though?
That's a 2-year deal.
It's not irrelevant. But
I mean, it's not extended. I'm not saying he's the 10-year contract. A 2-year deal.
How many years?
A 3-year
deal. A multi-year extension or a 1-year extension?
75. 2 years, 75.
Okay.
3-year extension. I'm reading the chat. It is Beck. The Cal QB is a damn true freshman. I like Dante Moore as well. But the point is, right now, it's so damn shaky. And those of you who follow the college game know exactly what I'm talking about. A lot of fun players, a lot of good names, a lot of college football season left to be played. But when you're saying like Carson Beck is probably the one, like that's the one that I probably would want to have as the quarterback, that's how you know. That's where we're at with the state of the QB position as far as rookies are concerned.
Yeah.
JRich, let's talk about a team that I did mention, another team and situation that I really want you to talk about because you love one of the receivers. I think you love both of the receivers on this team, but you really have been excited to see this receiver get it going for this team. And heading into week 2, and I'm not sure who they play, so maybe you could pull that up real quick, JRich, but I am loving what is happening right now coming out of week 2 in Los Angeles. The Rams pass catchers got it going. The LA Rams offense, Puka Nacua, smashing. Whether it's catching the damn ball, running it out of the backfield, providing the most explosive run the Rams have probably had since Todd Gurley. Puka Nacua out there getting it done at wide receiver / running back, getting that Debo treatment. And then, JRich, your boy, Tay Adams got it going as well in the game. Touchdown pass versus Tennessee, 6 catches over, touchdown reception, 6 catches, over 100 yards for Davante Adams. Kyren Williams, still bell cow type usage. I know Blake Corum scored a touchdown. He had 5 rush attempts. I'm not worried about Blake Corum overtaking Kyren Williams. You have to feel much better about this Rams offense going into week 3, opposed to especially what it looked like for Davante Adams coming out of week 1.
Yeah, I mean, this Rams offense has been a flag plant, I think, for both of us, Ray. We, from the very beginning, Davante Adams went there, we said, oh my goodness, finally. Like, we liked him with Rodgers, but with Stafford, a quarterback that we know is great, and playing next to Puka Nacua after Cooper Kupp left, we knew what this offense could be once again because you've already seen it happen before. Puka Nacua is the 1, Cooper Kupp was the 2, and they were great together. But now you have a situation where you have a younger receiver who's much better overall in Davante Adams, and we talked about, can he be the number 1? And especially against Tennessee, it seemed like he was the number 1 target, especially in terms of fantasy scoring. Both of them obviously were very good. Puka Nacua currently the wide receiver 3, and Davante Adams is kind of working his way up. But you asked me who they're playing this week. They got the Philadelphia Eagles, right?
They got the Eagles this week. They got the
Eagles. They are on the road, so they're playing in Philly once again after the playoff game that they lost, but it was probably the best performance anyone gave the Eagles all year last year in Philly, and especially considering their conditions, how much they had to throw the ball. We'll see what happens, but very excited. This Rams offense is exactly what you want for fantasy football. It's consolidated between 2 guys.
Yeah.
And that's all you care about. It's 2 guys. You don't care about Jordan Whittington. You don't care about Kenota Mumfield. You don't care about anybody else. It's Stafford, it's Nacua, it's Adams, and it's Kyren. Now, I do have to ask you, Ray, because as you mentioned, there was a Blake Corum concern. He scored the touchdown.
Yes.
And Sean McVay came out in the offseason and said he wants to have more of a split backfield. We didn't see that week 1, but we did see a 65 or 70%, 30% touch share between Kyren Williams and Blake Corum. And McVay talked about how that's what we wanted to do. Now, will we see it every week? We'll see. I'm not overall worried about Kyren in terms of his total touches, but are you at least a little bit concerned about how much Corum we're going to see? Because we're clearly not going to get bell cow Kyren all year long.
Not really. This is every damn team in the NFL. Even the great James Conner that we call a bell cow is ceding work to a degree to Trey Benson. This is the NFL, and there will be weeks where he gets bell cow usage, and there'll be weeks where let's get Blake Corum involved. The Tennessee was never a true threat to the Rams in this matchup. Great throw ill-advised throw, but great throw from Cam Ward to Elick Manor. But they never posed a true threat to the Rams. The Rams' objective and goal is to win a Super Bowl, to contend for a title. And just giving Kyren Williams the ball 30 times a game when you've got other capable players, probably suboptimal. He's still the lead back. He's still going to get his 15-plus touches every single week. I'm not worried about it. I'm not concerned about it. Good for them using somebody else to keep him fresh, but I've got no concerns about Kyren Williams in this offense. And even against this tough Philadelphia Eagles defense, I've got no concerns about the Rams offense either.
Yeah, the only concern I really have, honestly, is that if we don't see a more efficient Kyren with giving up some of those touches, that's when you're like, okay, I was fine with Kyren giving up some touches, but you hope to increase that efficiency because he has been so efficient and really predicated on the fact that he just gets all the volume, all the goal line work, everything that generates a lot of scoring potential in this Rams offense from the running back position came through Kyren Williams. So if it starts going to Blake Corum a little bit, it just, I think, hurts his ceiling overall. And I'd be curious how people feel about him in the coming weeks, and we'll see how that kind of trends. But overall, this Rams offense is still phenomenal. I think the offensive line can be a little bit better. What's up?
No, I was just going to say, Adam had asked a question. He said, can we pick between Adams and Igbuka? Curious to see. Can we pick between Adams and Igbuka?
It's not even close. It's Adams.
It's Adams.
It's not even close.
I agree with you.
Igbuka doesn't even have 100
We're not talking dynasty value. We're not talking long. The dynasty, no doubt. You're taking the young player. You're taking Emeka Igbuka. But we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
I'm with you. It's Davante Adams. It's Davante Adams, JRich. Couple of comments that I wanted to highlight, and it's going back. This is a really good one from Keegan, man. Keegan dropped one right here for us. Let me see if I can make this a little bigger. I can't see, JRich. My eyesight said you are better off taking a shot on proven starters like Jones and spend premium picks on the other important positions. O-line, D-line, just get a QB that doesn't shit the bed. I think there are a couple of teams that probably agree with that philosophy, and if you're not sold on a guy, if you're not sold on Garrett Nussmeier or Cade Klubnik or Lenoris Sellers or Fernando Mendoza or Carson Beck, look, I'll give Daniel Jones a 2-year deal. Let's just run it back with somebody that knows the offense, and let's go upgrade our tight end position. Let's go find a defensive back. Let's go get an interior tackle. So I don't disagree with that. And yeah, I mean, Ollie Gordon Truther said QBs coming out are garbage. The day of the Andrew Lucks coming out are gone. I guess we just need an Andrew Luck level of prospect, and we have yet to see that since, over the past couple of years. So it's going to be interesting to see how long these look at this year. Just think about where we're at right now. Geno Smith, starting quarterback. Justin Fields, starting quarterback. Sam Darnold, starting quarterback. Spencer Rattler, starting quarterback. Daniel Jones, starting quarterback. That's just 5 off the rip. That's just 5 guys that were just thrown to the side. No one gives a damn about your boy Tyler Shuck right now. Just keep rolling out Rattler. We're good. That's just 5 off the rip that are starting right now that have been cast off, left for dead, called bust.
Can I ask you another one?
Who we got?
Because I have a question, Ray.
Yeah, talk to me.
In Minnesota, we have an issue. JJ McCarthy's injured. High ankle sprain.
We were going to get to that after the half, but go ahead. You're just skipping around. Go ahead.
I got to ask you, man, because I've been very consistent about this. JJ McCarthy has struggled. It's always talked about 1 good quarter, 7 bad quarters. You listed off all the names of veteran quarterbacks that are starting in the NFL and playing better than a lot of the younger quarterbacks in the NFL right now. What happens if Carson Wentz is good? And I don't mean 220 yards. I mean 300
JJ McCarthy
yards.
goes back to starting. That's what happens. I know it's a fun narrative. The moment he's healthy, he's back as the starting quarterback.
Okay.
Wentz could go 4-0. The moment McCarthy's healthy, they're putting him back on the field.
But, okay. But what if McCarthy struggles again? Do they just ride it out, do you think?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
I do. They made their bed. They had Daniel Jones in the building. They let him walk.
They made that choice.
They had Daniel Jones in the building. They let him walk. They had Sam Darnold in the building. They let him walk. You bring in a veteran quarterback in case something like this happens. The moment he's healthy, he's going to be right back on the field. He'd go 4-0. The moment he's healthy, JJ McCarthy's back on the field.
And the funny thing is, everyone's saying stop it with Wentz. And I hear you. You don't think Wentz is good. But Wentz is probably better than what you think you've seen from JJ McCarthy.
Maybe.
And that's because he is a more established veteran in the NFL, coming from being coached by Andy Reid to now being coached by Kevin O'Connell. Like, these things do matter. And I think ultimately the offensive line will be what does Wentz in the end, because the offensive line is hurt right now. And depending on whether they have Darrisaw back this week will make a big impact. But like, don't be shocked if Wentz actually looks better than JJ simply because he knows how to play in the NFL more than JJ does. And that's all I'm saying.
Wentz has been awful in the NFL for the last 5 years. So I hear you. The moment McCarthy's ankle is healthy enough to play, I don't give a damn if Wentz goes 4-0 and throws for 1,000 yards during that time period. JJ McCarthy will be the starting quarterback. Just my thoughts on this one. Just my thoughts on that one. Jay, we talked about 2 things we've loved, nothing that we've hated, and I'm very curious to get your thoughts on this one. I talked about it on the Yahoo show with Matt Harmon yesterday. If you guys missed that, playlist is here on the channel. Check out all my content over on Yahoo. Run that stuff up. Show them what the wake-up chat can do. But one of the things that I just dislike, and they said the chat said Matt and I were fear-mongering. I'm not fear-mongering. I'm just trying to react to what we've seen. One of the things that I hate going into week 3, and JRich, the people said you kind of told me to be cautious and mindful of this situation, but it's Travis Hunter's increased usage on the defensive side of the ball. From a football standpoint, Jay, it's awesome to see him do that. And if you're a fan of the Jacksonville Jaguars, to see him go out there and play well on the defensive side of the ball, help the team out on the defensive side of the ball, especially once they lost a cornerback or a cornerback was injured. He had to go play some more on the defensive side of the ball. Great for his overall team contributions. But for the game that we play, which is fantasy football, JRich, you have started him every single week, weeks 1 and week 2, and he's done absolutely nothing for you. He's getting you 5 half PPR points per game right now. His slot usage decreased in week 2. He only plays in 11 personnel, 3 wide receiver sets. And I think one of the bigger problems, it's almost like his skill set is his gift and it's his curse, because he is gifted and he can play defense. And because he does look good on the defensive side of the ball, the thing that happened on Sunday that was also a tad bit concerning for him was De'Ami Brown and Parker Washington both played well. De'Ami Brown leads this team in scoring right now, and had he not clanked another touchdown pass off his hands, he'd have even more points. Like, they played well. He's in 2 wide receiver sets. Both of those guys showed that, hey, if Travis has got to play defense, we'll be fine on the offensive side of the ball. I love him. I still think the talent is incredible if he were to commit to the offensive side of the ball. And Harmon talked about just the route concepts. Like, they're just not using him like a real full-time wide receiver. It's one of the things that I just hate going into week 3. I hate the fact that what we're kind of forced to do is pick and guess and choose the weeks in which he's going to play more offense than defense, and then having to start him based on that just pure guess, because you don't know how. Maybe the plan is to play him more offensively, and then Tyson Campbell tweaks a hammy. The defensive back bangs up his shoulder, and it's like, well, we got to move him to the defensive side of the ball. The reality is this is what they spent the number 2 overall pick on him for, is to play both sides of the ball. But JRich, I'm just 2 weeks in, I just don't like it. It's one of the things that I hate going into week 3.
Yeah, Ray, I love that you brought up Tyson Campbell being hurt. And, it's the exact same thing if De'Ami Brown gets hurt. And that's where, for fantasy purposes, it's like, we love that. It's like, well, Emeka Egbuka's great because, Chris Godwin's out and Jalen McMillan's out, but Emeka Egbuka doesn't play defense. And so it's like, there isn't that negative of, if a cornerback gets hurt, that Egbuka, or obviously Travis Hunter in this case, is going to go play more defense. And then because he's playing more defense, he's playing less offense. And then because he's playing less offense, he scores us less fantasy points. So the upside of an injury on offense is just as equally nullified by the chance of an injury on defense. And that's the biggest problem for this Jaguars team is there's a few things that do work in Travis Hunter's favor. In terms of expected fantasy points per game, the Jacksonville Jaguars are number 2 in the NFL at the wide receiver position. Shout out Hayden Winks for putting out that graphic about expected fantasy points for wide receivers. The Jaguars are number 2. Now, when you even go look at our Trinity score data, Ray, number 1 on the Jacksonville Jaguars is none other than, as you mentioned, Dyami Brown. Number 2 is Brian Thomas. Number 3 is tight end Brenton Strange. And number 4 is Travis Hunter with a 4.51. And for anyone who's familiar with the Trinity score, under 5 is very bad. Under 6 is not good. And I think you want to probably be closer to 7 to where you feel confident starting a player week over week. So basically, Travis Hunter is not even close to startable right now. He's not even close to a number 2 option on the team. And especially with how poor Brian Thomas has played, I think it even makes more of a case to say that, like, look, you just can't start this guy right now. And he's not even close to startable right now. Because if Brian Thomas is playing better, that takes away from every single other player on the offense. And if Dyami Brown's playing better than Travis Hunter, that makes him almost virtually unstartable. Now, like I mentioned, the expected fantasy points do look good. And I think that will only continue for this Jaguars team. But you have to be concerned. And I think the good thing is that there is still cash out potential here. It may not be what you're looking for right now, but because he's still getting those opportunities a game, the targets are still there. He's just not really doing anything with it. Oh, and they missed that deep bomb in week 1. It was so close. I still think the potential for a sell high window is there. But Ray, what are you doing with Travis Hunter? And especially like in Dynasty, how do you feel about
I just want to further just reiterate the point and the purpose of this discussion. Nobody is saying the sky is falling. Nobody is saying 2 weeks in, this guy's NFL career is over. Matt said it best yesterday on our show. We don't want to overreact to situation. Monday is a fun show. You overreact on Monday. But now the information is processed. We got all the data. You don't want to overreact, but you also don't want to underreact and just be oblivious to the shit that we're seeing right now. And right now, as patient as you want to be, you plug him into your lineup, you're praying that he just converts. He scores a touchdown, he gets the big play, but there's nothing that we've seen 2 weeks in to say this guy's a slam dunk start. Like he's the opposite of a slam dunk start right now. And like, to be fair, is that not to be expected? If you're going to bounce back and forth between offense and defense, how do you get in a rhythm? How do you get in a flow? How do you maximize your potential on either side of the ball if week by week it's just going to be up to the game plan? I think they've got the Texans this week. So is this a week where you're like, okay, maybe they don't need him on the defense? But how the hell do we know that?
Offense, right?
How do we know that? Like you're really guessing. You're truly guessing. Keegan said taking Hunter over T-Mac makes me lose sleep. Joe asked Quinshon or Hunter PPR. This isn't even close to me. I'm starting Quinshon Judkins 10 out of 10 times right now. 10 out of 10 times. I still love the talent, love the potential. What I hate, what I don't love is the very thing that we knew coming into the season was going to happen. He's going to play both sides. And the coaches told you there's going to be weeks where he's needed on offense more, needed on defense. I'll be honest with you. I don't think he's needed on offense. Dyami Brown, Brian Thomas catch the damn ball, Parker Washington, Brenton Strange, Travis Etienne, Bajal Tootin. I don't think he's needed on offense. Can he help improve that offense? Could he be a nice addition to the offense? Can he help the offense? Unequivocally, yes. But is it like they've got nobody else out there and he needs to play? The answer to that is no. Like, the answer to that is no. So a lot of sharp NFL people have said from day one, he can't do it. There's a reason why this has never been done. He can't do it. In the game that we play, fantasy football, you can't tell me right now that patience be damned or not. Are you patiently starting him? Are you going to just keep starting him and just saying be patient? You're going to keep starting him every week? Right now, if you had to start one of those two wide receivers in week 3, would you start Dyami Brown or Travis Hunter?
Dyami Brown every time.
That's all we're talking about is what are the vibes going into week 3. And the vibes right now are, for me, like I'm not going to start him. I'll just wait until there's some more clarity. And to be fair, Jacksonville's probably trying to figure out how to deploy him. Like, how do we want to do this? Because we can't be the only geniuses that see that he's not maximizing his potential on doing it the way that he's been doing it, right?
He's a jag on both sides of the football right now. So what are they getting out of him, right? Like, Ray, let's be real. He's been a decent NFL player. And it's 2 games. It's not to knock him because what he's doing is unheard of. But from an NFL standpoint, how do you justify playing him on both sides when he's not playing at a level that's even above jag level in the NFL right now? All you're really getting is one guy filling 2 roster spots. But if you're filling the 4th option or the 3rd option, is that really beneficial for the team? And especially for us in fantasy, it's definitely not. Right? It's definitely not. So that's what I have to figure out.
And this isn't his it's just right now going into week 3. It's just disappointing because I think we all see the talent. We expect for it to happen at some point. I saw Joe say, I think long-term, he'll be a really good wide receiver, something I'm paraphrasing. But right now, going into week 3, it's just a tough sell. It's a tough sell. I hate it, JRich. I hate it. Another thing that I hate going into week 3, man, and it started off feeling like, okay. We're going to be, is week 1 panic. They figured it out. We're going to be okay. I'm like, hell yeah. It's working. And then by the end of the game, CJ Stroud situation in Houston, JRich. I hate it. I hate what's happening in Houston for this 3rd-year quarterback. Again, those first few scripted plays for Houston, they came out the gates firing. CJ Stroud drops a dime. I mean, it was up there close to dime of the week. I'm still going to give it to Cam Ward, even though it was an ill-advised throw. That was still the throw of the week. But that bucket drop to Nico Collins, the concentration, the catch, phenomenal. And then after that, it's downhill. He completes 13 passes. He's under duress all night. They've got no running game. JRich, I know you were out into the wee hours in the morning on Monday, but Nick Chubb rips off a 25-yard run at the end of the game, and that boosts his rushing yards average to like 3.3 an attempt. It's abysmal in Houston. The O-line is bad. The receiving game outside of Nico Collins, not good. The rushing attack, bad. The defense is doing everything in their power to keep them in it. But right now, I hate what's happening in Houston going into week 3, Jay.
Yeah, you can't feel confident in this team pretty much at all. I believe their last 8 games, they haven't scored more than 20 points. And this is after a team that has yet to figure it out offensively. They fire their OC because they said, well, it's not CJ Stroud. It's not the offensive line. It's not the GM's fault. It's got to be the OC's fault. And we can't get rid of DeMeco Ryans because he does call a great defense. So they get a new OC and nothing's changed. The issues for this team that have plagued them all since last season are the same. They said, you know what? We're going to trade Laramie Tunsil because we don't feel like he's the right guy for this team. He's causing a bit of problems in the locker room. He's got to go.
Get him out.
He's like one of the number 1 graded tackles in the NFL the first 2 weeks of this season for Washington. Now, again, maybe he didn't vibe with the coaching staff, and I'm sure there were some issues there, but you simply can't do this and expect better results. Like, yes, he's very highly paid. He may be a bit of a problem, but, like, you need him. CJ Stroud needs him. And this has always been the issue. When we're in fantasy saying, do I start CJ Stroud? The answer is absolutely not.
No.
Do you know why?
No.
Because Tua's scoring more points than him. JJ McCarthy's scoring more points than him. Bo Nix, who is the worst passer per PFF in the NFL right now, is scoring more points than CJ Stroud. He's only better than Sam Darnold, Joe Flacco, Geno Smith, Tyrod Taylor, like quarterbacks that aren't good at all, and we know that. And so now, Ray, you have a situation where everyone's saying, well, why are they getting Xavier Hutchinson the ball? You should get it to Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel. It's like, guys, these guys are not saving this team. This offensive line is horrible. When Nick Chubb and Woody Marks are your 2nd and 3rd leading receivers in a football game, it's not because Xavier Hutchinson is a problem. It's not. And I don't think CJ Stroud is playing at a very high level right now. The confidence is definitely not there.
No, it's not there.
The playmakers aren't making plays.
It's not there.
He's just not confident in what he's doing. And you go back to the days at Ohio State and his first season, the confidence was there and he played great. The ability is in there somewhere.
Agreed.
But to get it out, it's going to take a lot. And that's the problem. And it's not that we think CJ Stroud's a bad quarterback. He's playing at a much lower level than we know he can hit. But the reality is that's not coming out this year unless drastic changes are made. And I don't think starting rookie receiver is going to make that happen.
Yeah, they let that one get away from him. Tampa Bay, Baker and them just drove the ball down the field. Masterful drive to set them up to win the game. They've got the Jaguars, the Titans, the Ravens. Then they've got a bye week. Seattle, San Francisco, Denver, Jacksonville, Tennessee, Buffalo.
I don't even know what to do with them in Jacksonville.
How are we feeling about Nico, man? Right now, I'm looking half PPR scoring. Nico Collins is currently wide receiver. Where is he at? Trying to find Nico's.
He's got to be like in the 30s, right?
Oh, he scored the touchdown, so that probably boosted him up a little bit. That saves him a little bit, but that's about all you're starting from Houston. I guess if you've got a desperation start, Nick Chubb, then you go ahead and do that if you have to, JRich. But I don't like it for any of the offensive weapons in Houston. The OC, I guess he's still trying to figure things out his own self. I'm hating what's happening in Houston right now. Nico Collins, where are you at?
Can I ask you a would you rather real quick? And I just want your brief analysis on it, 'cause I think this is really interesting. Who would you prefer going forward? Obviously, we're going
wide
into
receiver
week 3.
44, half PPR. Wide receiver 44.
Both these receivers are the number ones on their team. Both these offenses are really struggling. But going forward, would you rather Nico Collins or Courtland Sutton?
Nico Collins.
So they're both scoring the exact same. 6 receptions, 77 yards, 1 touchdown for Collins on 14 targets. Sutton, 7 receptions, 67 yards, and a touchdown. So most production came last week. Most of Collins' production came this week. But drastically different opinions of both these receivers. Most people would take Collins. Most people prefer Collins. But if you're asking me, which offense do I believe can get off their ass this week, and especially later on into the season, the answer is the Denver Broncos.
Denver Broncos. I agree. It's kind of a trick question you gave me because I believe in Denver's offense more than I believe in Houston's offense. I just believe in Nico Collins being the primary a lot more than week-to-week Courtland Sutton. We just saw Troy Franklin, your boy. Shout out to Troy Franklin. We saw him get in the mix. There was no Evan Ingram. He's still battling injury, not 100%. They're going to run the ball. I do trust Denver's offense overall, schematically more than Houston, but I trust Nico Collins being the number one alpha target in that offense, opposed to Courtland Sutton, his week-to-week ability to be the number one based on game script, game plan, flow, or just Bo Nix acting wild. You never know with Bo Nix. All right, we got one more, and then we'll go to break. Another love. We did 2 hates. We've been haters for 2 topics, so let's show some love. I want to show some love, JRich, to and I labeled this the young, old running backs, right? These are the forgotten, old, young running backs in the NFL, the players that we just kind of, during the draft process, nobody really wanted these running backs, but then you get to the season and they're balling out right now. And those young, old running backs, JRich, Javonte Williams, once again, making it happen. My bold prediction going into week 2 was Javonte Williams would once again finish as a top 10 running back. Make sure you check out my content on Yahoo. He was not a top 10 running back. He was a top 5 running back. 18 carries, JRich, close to 100 yards, rushing touchdown, and he gave you 6 receptions for 30-plus yards in the game. Another old, young, forgotten running back that people don't like, Travis Etienne, balling out right now for Jacksonville, is the unquestioned lead guy, doing it on the ground and in the receiving game. Another young, old, forgotten running back, DeAndre Swift, playing very well in Chicago. And then James Cook, who has just been a monster to start the season, and no one's talking about that James Cook. I'm loving the value that we got on some of these, again, forgotten old/young running backs and the way that they performed 2 weeks into the season.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like James Cook obviously is the RB1 right now ahead of Christian McCaffrey. Javonte Williams is RB3 ahead of Bijan, Etienne, Jonathan Taylor, Chuba Hubbard, Saquon Barkley. Then you have Etienne, Gibbs, Bucky Irving, Derrick Henry, and Ray. Surprisingly, no one talks about this guy. And I told you this week that I said he's still the lead guy. Jaylen Warren is next on the list of highest scoring running backs, right? But this is what happens, right? And this is the funniest part about what we do. And obviously, for those of you that watch the shorts, we do the shorts. We talk about the young players, the Omarion Hamptons, the Trayvon Hendersons. And everyone's like, nah, give me that old, crusty, this guy, that guy. And we always got to say, well, it's a whole season and we got to justify it. But like,
these the vibes going into week 3. This is going into week 3. You got to feel good.
Guys that you got to be happy about because Javonte's going nowhere, Etienne's going nowhere, and James Cook, I mean, he's probably going to be a top 5 running back the way the running back position's gone so far. We'll see, but he has been very, very good to start the season, and I would not be shocked if he finishes even higher than he did last year.
Yeah, Dio said RB dead zone did not exist this year. Yeah, and there's other guys. There's other guys too. There's a comment here from Chris. I'm gonna save this for after the break. I'm reading some questions about some comments about Nico Collins, but yeah, these old dead zone running backs, the ones that nobody kind of wanted, they're balling out for us right now, and I don't think it's slowing down for any of the names that we mentioned. Etienne, as long as he's healthy, the guy. I do think that Basil Tootin will be sprinkled in some more, and he looked good too. He got a receiving touchdown. Tootin looked good. LaQuint Allen played as well, but Etienne is kind of the way that he's playing right now. Hey, somebody's going to pay Etienne. DeAndre Swift, I love what we saw in the preseason from Kyle Monangai. It's going to be DeAndre Swift. There's no Roschon Johnson. There's nobody else. You talked about James Cook, how great he's been playing to start the season. These old/still young running backs are balling. And I love it, JRich. Absolutely love it. All right, we hit the midway point. We got 5 more that we got to talk through. We've got a break. Hit the thumbs up button, like, comment, subscribe. We'll get back to that, and we'll touch on some injury news, some J.J. McCarthy. We'll do all of that good stuff after the break. Welcome back to the show. This is Wake Up with Ray and Jay every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right here on the channel. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button, like, comment, subscribe. Check out the other channel, DDFFB, where all fantasy content exists. Scott Connor and I today will be doing the live Trinity show. So we got to do the Trinity report. Been a long week, tough week scheduling over here, but we're going to get that up. So if you're a member, make sure you pull up. We'll get that thing scheduled and come join in, have some fun, talk some Trinity. But Jay, there was a comment in the chat. I gotta address this real quick, man. I gotta address this real quick because there were some comments. Chris said Ray's 40 time in his prime, over under 4.55. JRich, you want to take a guess? Oh, GQ was kind of fast back in the gap. I'm pushing 40 now, so not so much now. One Achilles tendon away, but I'm gonna be real and give y'all the real lasered 40 time. I ran track my freshman year in college, indoor track, so you got to be kind of quick to do that. 60-meter dash, 55. You want to take a guess on what that 40 time was in the prime? You've seen me in person. You've seen a little bit.
I would say a 4.57.
4.57.
I think you can crack 4.6. I don't know if you can crack 4.4 though.
I never cracked 4.4. Fastest time laser was 4.54. and I was real pissed.
Okay.
I thought I could go sub 4.5, but nope. And Danny Woodhead could back that. It was one of the faster times out there. But yeah, sub 4.5 is flying. 4.54 laser.
Position
and it starts
you play,
when that damn hand
corner,
comes up.
Right.
Corner.
Yeah.
4.54 was the fastest I've ever clocked, and that was laser. I mean, hand time, I think one time it was like a 4.42. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm blazing. But that stopwatch hand time is inaccurate. 4.54 was what I cracked, JRich. But let's keep it. Man. Let's keep it moving to. We ended with one of the things that we love, the old forgotten running backs. So it's only right that we flip the script to something that I hate right now going into week 3, JRich. It ain't the old running backs, man. It's the new guys, JRich. I'm hating
making us look bad.
What we're getting right now out of the 2025 running back class. 2 weeks in, this is not a dynasty show. This is not what they're going to be in 2026. Hell, it's not what they're going to be by week 9. But heading into week 3, Ashton Jeanty, Omarion Hampton.
Lost.
I mean, it has been rough for the rookie running backs. RJ Harvey, they lied. Oh, you're going to get more usage in week 2. Nope. JRich, that usage went down in week 2. Less opportunity. Using him as a damn decoy down there on the goal line. Your boy, Big Hendo. McDaniels lied to the world. We got to get him in space. More usage for Big Hendo. It was all Ramondre Stevenson. Just Mondre. Jay, right now, going into week 3, Harmon and I talked about this yesterday. Like, of these running backs, who are you panicked the most about? We both picked Omarion Hampton. I said that I still have
really?
I am not worried about Ashton Jeanty. Harmon pushed back on me and said he's been pretty damn bad, and the Raiders' blocking has been pretty damn bad. And he's getting all the volume, all the opportunity, and it's not amounting to anything. He can't pass block. He can't pass catch. If you didn't watch the show, I gave you a shout out to all the Yahoo listeners. I said, well, my co-host JRich has called him the Mountain West version of Brian Robinson, and Harmon died laughing at that one, Jay. How are we feeling right? And don't even get me started on Caleb. Don't get me started on Caleb, John. Mike Tomlin's already come out and said probably not going to be on kick return anymore. Roll taken, zap, snatched, gone. How are we feeling about the big 5 running backs right now heading into week 3?
I think I'd feel real good if I had Quinshon Judkins right now. Right? I think I'd feel really damn good if I had Quinshon Judkins right now because he looked pretty good this week.
Come on, man.
It's just funny how everyone wants that Jeanty, that Hampton. I pumped up that Hendo. And it's been a lot of nothing for the first few weeks of the season. Now, I think the sad part is with Hampton and why we should be concerned is that everything that I kind of talked about and, we talked about with him splitting carries with Harris, it's probably going to happen. It's probably going to happen. Week 1, he was on a snap count. They hardly utilized him. Week 2, they said, all right, Najee, we're rolling you back out there. We're doing some things. Now, I have heard people talk about, especially that Raiders game, is maybe the Raiders' rush defense is a little bit better than we realized because, you look at what happened even for the Patriots running backs from week 1 to week 2, it's night and day. Now, are the defenses night and day between Las Vegas and Miami? I don't know. But I will say, in terms of these players in particular, I would still start Hampton. I would still start Jeanty. I would not start Henderson.
I'm not starting
him. I'm not starting him because a lot of people aren't going to watch the Pats games because they stink. And frankly, I don't want to watch them either. But his usage is so predictable because when he comes on the field, it's to do one thing, catch passes. And he's the primary read. And so when you see Ramondre run down the sidelines catching a pass and Mike Vrabel comes out in an interview the next day or maybe it's 2 days later saying that was a Henderson play in practice. But the problem is when it's a Henderson play, defense knows Henderson in the field. And they see him running the wheel, and they key in on him. When Ramondre runs it, they're like, why the hell is Ramondre 30 yards down the field, right?
What is he doing?
And so it's less predictable from an offensive standpoint. He obviously had the holding calls. He got benched. And I'm fine with Gibson getting some carries, but it seems like, at least for me, watching the Pats play, Ramondre is the player that can play on all 3 downs, and the defense doesn't know what he's going to do. But when Henderson's on the field, whether it's with Ramondre or without, his job is only to catch passes. And every now and then he may get a carry just to kind of switch things up. But it seems like his usage is far too predictable right now to where the defenses are really struggling to stop him. And I think that's a problem for him because they're using him in a way that isn't decisive or deceptive enough to get him enough looks in open space.
Let me tell you the thing that concerned me the absolute most on Monday Night Football. And I don't know if you saw it, but there was just trauma that came back. There was trauma from 5 years ago that it overwhelmed my body, JRich. There was a point in time where the Chargers are at the 1 yard line, right? 1 yard line. They don't bring in Najee. They bring in big number 44. They bring in all these extra offensive linemen. And you know what they're going to do. It's going to be an Omarion Hampton slam up the gut. They did it once. They did it twice.
Oh, God.
They did it thrice. And it didn't work. I mean, he's just blown up. Could not score from the one. And my mind went all the way back to 2020 when the Kansas City Chiefs gave Clyde Edwards-Helaire about 10 opportunities on the goal line to score, and he couldn't do it. And we never saw them try that again. They just said, we ain't doing it again. I'm watching Hampton, and I'm like, that 114-yarder where he got contacted, and he's stumbling, but he keeps his balance, and he picks up I'm like, I need that. I want more of that. But he's not using the receiving game. They threw him one, and he caught it, and it got slapped down. Like, Najee looked good. Like, they played Najee way more in the second game than they did the first game. He looked like the better running back. And it's one of those things that it was just another reminder that we automatically assume that Caleb Johnson was just better than Najee, and they drafted him to replace Najee, and he would just step. It's a disservice and disrespectful right now to even mention Caleb Johnson and Najee Harris's name. Caleb Johnson will never have 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons, ever, because he ain't going to have one this year. Like, it was just a real reminder that, man, like, these dudes that have done it before, there is something to that. As far as these rookie running backs, do I think it will get better for all of them? Yes, I do. I even think there'll be a point in time where Caleb Johnson plays because he's a running back and he'll get on the field at some point. But heading into week 3 right now, the thing that you can bet on is Jeanty's going to get his touches. Harvey, I don't know when he's going to play, right? It played more in week 1, not as much in week 2. Henderson, you love the talent. You love the receiving profile. He's got the explosiveness to make it happen. I guess it's just truly dependent on the matchup. But the problem for us is we drafted those guys pretty damn high. Like, Caleb Johnson is 100% droppable. Like, drop him. He's wasting a roster spot, right? Henderson, Hampton, we drafted these guys very, very high in seasonal leagues. And right now, going into week 3, I hate it, JRich. I hate the production that we're getting from the young running backs, but we got to show some love to some third-year wide receivers because I love this sort of third-year breakout that we're getting from a lot of these wide receivers. And I want to start with the biggest dog of them all, Jackson Smith-Njigba, who right now, JRich, is the NFL leader in wide receiver shit. Trinity score 9.4, leads the NFL. There's no wide receiver in the NFL. Let me say this again. There is no wide receiver in the NFL 2 weeks in that has done more for his team than Jackson Smith-Njigba. Target share over 40%, air yard share over 90%. Like, this dude is, and Cooper Kupp got involved. Torrey Corton scored a touchdown, but collectively on the season, 2 weeks in, Jackson Smith-Njigba is your usage leader. Now, the fantasy points haven't quite followed because Sam Darnold is still one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL. But as far as just usage, Jackson Smith-Njigba is balling. Zay Flowers, JRich, here in year 3, has kind of just been a fine player the first couple of years. So far this season, he is the guy in Baltimore. Mark Andrews, back-to-back games, not doing a goddamn thing. DeAndre Hopkins, he's going to get his opportunity down the field. But as far as consistency, Zay Flowers getting it done in his 3rd year. And is it time to believe? Is it Joe Hendry, I believe time, with Quentin Johnston, Big QJ, who had another touchdown in this game. Trinity score above 7. Great offense. Justin Herbert slinging it around the field. I'm loving this third-year breakout for these wide receivers, JRich.
Yeah, you can't be anything but encouraged, right? In terms of JSN, the reason why he's not higher up boards is because he hasn't scored. He's second in receptions. He's second in yards. And I believe he's third in the NFL in targets. What more do you need? He's basically Puka Nacua right now. Like, that's what he's doing. Puka Nacua has a touchdown because he got it on the ground, but you look at their numbers side by side, they're almost identical. JSN, 1 less reception, 6 more yards, 3 more targets, but obviously doesn't have any carries. And that's the difference between those two players. So it's like, if you're telling me that JSN is doing Puka Nacua stuff, I'm like, yeah, because that's who JSN is. He is, when he was in college, he was one of the best receivers we had seen in a while. People thought he was the best receiver to come out of Ohio State. Better than Marvin Harrison Jr., better than Chris Olave, potentially better than Garrett Wilson. Like, now he's finally able to do that. And honestly, I'm just shocked that Kubiak's able to unlock that from him. And Sam Darnold is the quarterback to do it as well. But he's doing everything you need him to do. Now, in terms of Zay Flowers and Quentin Johnston, I struggle a bit more over which one I trust more. Because if you're asking me which offense do I trust more, I think it's the Chargers. I think what we've seen of this Chargers offense, people are disappointed in Ladd, but you look at the receptions, you look at the yardage, it's just he doesn't have the touchdowns. But everything else is in line. All three of these players see similar usage. Keenan Allen seems to be the favorite between him and Ladd, kind of doing the same thing, similar roles. And then you have QJ in a different role where he's utilized down the field and able to score touchdowns off of those long shot plays that Justin Herbert hits. But Zay Flowers is obviously someone that had a massive week 1, pretty good week 2. But which one would you say you're more confident in moving forward between Quentin Johnston and Zay Flowers?
Both. Honestly, it's both. I put my money where my mouth was last week. Every single league, every single one where I had Quentin Johnston, he started. I didn't care who the hell I had to take out. I don't care. I've got to take somebody out. I'm starting him. I'm trusting his volume, his usage, his role, and more importantly, Justin Herbert in this offense. And had Geno Smith actually kept the game close, made it competitive, not launched 3-4 damn interceptions, there could have been more. There were a couple of passes where Justin Herbert missed. For sure. Quentin Johnston, like, he has gotten better, and we talked about it over the summer. He from his rookie season to year 2, there was a step up. From year 2 to year 3, there's been a step up 2 weeks in. Is he gonna drop a pass? Probably. They're a QJ. When he launched that touchdown pass, I was like, don't drop it, QJ. Don't drop the ball, Quentin Johnston. But he's secure. And there's something to confidence, yo. Like, when you've got in life, man, when you're confident about what you're doing, where you're going, what you're talking about, how you move differently when you're confident, Jay. And right now, he's playing with confidence. That's what Harbaugh does. He's giving him confidence. He's playing with confidence. And here's the thing. They're game planning opportunity for him, right? And this may not be, I saw people, when I posted the Trinity about the Chargers, oh, man, Ladd should be getting 12 targets. I don't like it. You know who it's good for? It's great for the Chargers offense that you've got 3 very skilled pass catchers that can help move the ball down the field. I'm loving it. And I see some people talking about year 3, Wan'Dale Robinson. He ought to be included as well, right? He ought to be included as well. So really loving what we're getting from these year 3 wide receivers. JRich, something that I hate, and I want to be careful how I talk about this because I heard the NFL was sending out lawsuits if you were reposting the clear and obvious false start by the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line when they do the tush push. But JRich, I hate this Philly offense. Right now, going into week 3, I hate it. I hate it, Jordan Richards. I get that they went up against a tough opponent in the Kansas City Chiefs, Steve Spagnuolo's defense. I understand it. It kind of feels like Kansas City last year where you knew there were some deficiencies offensively, but they're just so good that they're going to continue to win. And I know it's a new offensive coordinator and they've got to get you. I know all of this stuff. But going into week 3, when you're thinking about the Philadelphia Eagles offense, JRich, who do you feel confident in? No Dallas Goedert last week. Jalen Hurts, you saw him and Chris Jones going back and forth. Bro, you barely threw for 100 yards. It's back-to-back weeks, no A.J. Brown usage. I hate it. I hate it right now. They're winning games. They're 2-0. I'm not knocking the team. I'm not discrediting the fact that it's going to take some time. But going into week 3, how patient are you with these skill position players for Philadelphia? Are you starting Smith? Are you starting A.J. Brown? Do you start Dallas Goedert? Yes, Saquon Barkley is a start, but even him, I'm waiting for the big Barkley explosion. How are you feeling about this Eagles offense right now?
I can't feel good. Like it's pretty much that simple. You cannot feel good about what you're seeing. And, especially you bring up the pass catchers. How could you feel confident when they're playing the Rams? Like last year against the Rams, they ran for like 400 yards with Saquon Barkley against this Rams defense. So why would you feel confident any of the pass catchers doing anything going forward? And it's really that simple. Like, this is a team that's, their 4th year in a row with a new OC. They started slow offensively last year, but you have to wait to see it as well. You can't just jam these guys in your lineup and say, yeah, Devontae Smith, I'll take that 3 for 40. I want that in my lineup. Like, no, there's so many other players around the NFL that you could start over just about anybody on this Philly team. Now, Dallas Goedert is a little bit different, but Ray, like, you talk about the Trinity all the time, and we reference it because it's important. And when you're looking at a team, Ray, and I want to ask you this question, I have a piece of trivia for you. Okay. There is one player on the Trinity chart that is above the trend line. For everyone who doesn't understand, we do the Trinity. It's wide receiver, tight end usage on ddfantasyfootball.com. And there is one player on the Philadelphia Eagles that is above average, just average across the entire NFL. And I want to know if you know who it is.
Jahan Dotson.
It is not Jahan Dotson. You are way too high up the wide receiver list. This player just got there and was traded there, I believe, sometime in late August.
A receiver?
It is none other than former Alabama wide receiver and I believe second-round pick.
Stop.
John Mechie is the only player on our Trinity report that is above the trend line.
Ugh.
Grant Calcaterra, below. Kylan Granson, below. Jahan Dotson, who is right beside A.J. Brown, pretty much a lot below. Devontae Smith, pretty far below. And Dallas Goedert, also below. What does that tell you? That tells you that this offense is extremely inefficient.
One reception, one target on 3 routes. Get the hell out of here, John Mechie. Get out of here.
This is a very inefficient offense right now. Very inefficient. They are grinding out games. They are winning games, but they are not good for fantasy. And those things can be true, and the team can still win games. And that's the reality, is when you start looking at football and say, well, the Eagles are a good team. You want to start them. They're going to put up points. Well, they're not putting up points. They're playing good defense, and they're grinding out games. You know what they are, Ray? They're the 2024 Kansas City Chiefs.
That's what people
And how did you
said.
feel? How do you feel about starting those Chiefs? All last season, you said, oh, this is the week. This is the week. This is the week.
Man.
And it was never the week.
I'm not gonna dog our tool out, but the Trinity and NFL Pro is full of shit. I'm looking at Mechie, 8.2% catch rate over expected. Get the hell out of here, NFL Pro. John Mechie, positive 8.2% catch rate over expected. I just hate the offense, and I'm being real. You're probably starting A.J. Brown because you don't want to feel like an idiot if you bench him for Troy Franklin. Tyquan Thornton, right? And then A.J. Brown goes off. You're probably going to start him. Who do they play this week? The Rams? I wouldn't be shocked if he has another dud. And then you're going to be like, I'm never going to do it again. It's just going into week 3, I understand the OC. I understand they've got to learn anew. I get it. But I'm not trying to hear that shit. When you draft A.J. Brown at the top of the 2nd round, when you're invested in Devontae, I don't want to hear any of that. We're 3 weeks, we're almost a quarter of a way through the fantasy football season. You know? You keep jamming that A.J. Brown out there and you're 0-2, 0-3, 0-4, you might as well start getting ready for the 2026 draft because you'll be picking high. Like we're there. I'm not willing to. Let me ask you this right now, man. Right now, would you start A.J. Brown or Quentin Johnston?
Quentin Johnston. Ray, do you want to know what A.J. Brown's longest reception is on the season?
11 yards.
8 yards. 8 yards is his longest reception on the season. He's got 9 targets. He has 6 receptions. His longest reception is 8 yards. And this is a player, what does he average for his career? He averages 15.6 yards per reception.
Let me just ask the chat too. Real talk, because I'm not sitting there watching every snap of Philadelphia, especially when we had a game on Sunday where there were 1,000 yards. You know, I was just still riding that Cowboys high, 1,000 yards of offense in the game. Is it an AJ Brown thing? Is there anything that you've seen in his game that would indicate he's taking a step back, or is it truly just the offense? It's just not flowing through the receivers right now. Like what? Any thoughts there, chat?
I think the problem for Brown is he's the number one. Right? Smitty can get away with it because he's never the focal point of offense of the defense. He's never going to be doubled. Right? So you saw what happened. Jalen finally saw an opportunity to throw him a little fade, and they hit it. But that doesn't happen for AJ Brown because he's never running one-on-one down the field. It just doesn't happen, right? It's not much different than anytime a wide receiver 2 goes off and the wide receiver 1 kind of struggles because, you know, you talked about it against Dallas. He was being doubled the whole time. Like they found a way to stop him. And I think maybe it was Eberflus. Maybe it was just defenses tried so hard, especially in the NFC, to figure out how do we stop Philly, right? And now there seems to be a game plan. Are you going to win the game is another conversation because Jalen can still go off, Saquon can still go off. But if you can stop the explosive plays through the air, it gives you a much better chance to win.
Austin says it's the offense. Eagles looking just like the Chiefs post Tyreek Hill, control the game because they're just better, minimize risk. That's what Austin said. They're just winning games, right? They're just winning games. They don't care
about winning by 50. Their job is to win by 1 point.
Dylan said 0 creativity with their wide receiver usage, 100% on the OC. Smitty isn't doing anything either. AJ Brown equals DK Metcalf right now. I saw a post saying teams can telegraph the routes AJ is going to run. If AJ is lined up outside, then he'll just run in breaking routes. Kevin said they've enabled their team to be able to play this way, and they've enabled the quarterback to do it as well. It's no problem when they win games, and I 1,000% don't like what Kevin is saying. I don't like anything that he's saying, but I don't disagree with one word. The NFL's the goal of their head coach, Nick Sirianni, is to win football games. It's to hang another banner, right, at the link. It's to go to the playoffs. It's to win the Super Bowl. Think they give a damn how they do it? I mean, maybe. I'm sure, yes, we want to get this thing going, of course. But a win is a win, baby. Like, we're 2-0. Let's be real.
I get it's against Ray, because
I get it. It's against Kansas City. They didn't look good versus Dallas, and this Kansas City Chiefs team. This ain't that juggernaut offense. They didn't look that good there either.
Yeah, like so the only reason why I disagree with that point of like they don't care and is that like you look at what happened with Detroit this week. You think they didn't hear the noise? You think they didn't hear the criticism, right? And they came out and they showed the world, like, chill out. Green Bay's good, but we still got this. We're still a good team. And that's the hard part is, like, they have nothing to prove in the same way that Kansas City last year had nothing to prove. All they were instructed to do was to go to win football games. And that's what Jalen Hurts does.
About time we got a good Keegan take in here. About time. He's been too rational. Who cares about winning games? They need to put us first in our fantasy leagues. There you go, Keegan. Sirianni's definitely going to do that. Jalen Hurts is the only starting quarterback without throwing a touchdown through 2 games. Not just an AJ Brown problem. All right, JRich, let's get out of the hate and go to the love. And I'm a little shocked by this one right here that you threw on the show sheet, JRich. But go ahead and tell us why you love what your boy is doing in Carolina with that offense and the Panthers offense. I want to hear this one. What you love about it?
So the reason why I love the Panthers offense is because of 2 things. One, he knows how to utilize his personnel. And this is where when we talked about Daniel Jones and the Indianapolis offense and why we've always loved Shane Steichen is his ability to maximize his personnel. And the reason why you should be very happy about what's going on in Carolina right now is because I mentioned earlier wide receiver usage and expected fantasy points. Carolina is number 1 in the NFL, ahead of all other teams. And so if you have McMillan right now, you should be very happy with what you've seen from a usage standpoint. His Trinity is very, very good. It's 15th best in the NFL amongst wide receivers and tight ends who've played 2 games.
Usage
which is very,
great.
very encouraging.
Usage is great for McMillan.
And the other reason why you should like it is because Jalen Coker is coming back probably in week 5.
Need him.
And they need him badly.
Need him.
But the reason why it's important is because it's not so much that they need him, it's that he is going to be an integral part of an offense that is going to utilize the wide receiver extremely heavily. And once that happens, it's not going to be that we're going to love this offense as a whole because we still have a Bryce Young problem. But the difference is that you can have a Bryce Young problem and still have great output for fantasy football. You're going to have positive game scripts every play. You're going to be loving what you see from McMillan, who has had more yards in week 2 than Puka had all season. But there's still people out there that will tell you Emeka Puka is the better asset and the better player. And that's why the Carolina Panthers offense matters. Go trade for Jalen Coker because I believe, and I forget what the schedule is because I looked it up earlier.
Keep gassing this up.
But I'm pretty
Keep going.
sure once Coker plays, Ray, I'm pretty sure they play the Miami Dolphins.
Oh.
And so just wait till the Coke boys come back week 5. And then you know what they got after that, Ray?
Lord have
the
mercy,
Patriots.
I'm about to bust.
Oh.
Then they got the Patriots. So go trade for Jalen Coker. Go trade for Ted McMillan. And for the love of God, Bryce Young, please play better. Because Chuba Hubbard's doing fine because he's catching touchdowns. McMillan's been great. He just hasn't scored yet. So don't look at what you've
McMillan
seen.
got walked down. That McMillan got walked down. I needed him to house that one, man. That T-Mac got walked down, JRich, but that's okay. We'll ignore that play.
The team is bad. But from an offensive standpoint, they are
they just lost Robert Hunt. They just lost their starting guard.
They did lose Robert Hunt.
They lost Robert Hunt. They lost another offensive lineman. You sure you don't want to listen? We'll see. Who do they play this week? They got Atlanta. Oof.
Atlanta could be tough. Atlanta looked much better in week 2 than they did in week 3.
I gave a lot of praise to the Falcons draft class. They smashed their draft class in 2025. Good. Billy Bowman, Xavier Watts, the 2 edge rushers, James Pierce, Jalen Walker. Absolute home run for that franchise in their draft class.
Falcons, Patriots, Dolphins.
Oh, my gosh.
Week 5. Cowboys.
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
Jets. Then it gets rough after that. But media future's looking good.
Yeah, it gets rough after that. Okay.
Bills,
we're talking about week 3. We're talking week 3, how we're feeling. JRich loves the Carolina offense. And Jay, it wouldn't be right. It wouldn't be right for you to come back to the show. And for our last segment topic, which is a hate going into week 3. We're not feeling good about this going into week 3. But this is all you, my friend. This was your player, your offer, your tribute. You are not loving what we're potentially going to get from one Justin Fields in week 3, if he's even out there. I don't know if he's cleared concussion protocol. Justin Fields was awful on Sunday. I mean, awful. That face, that is the face where, you're sitting on the toilet and you got the trash can in front of you and you're praying and you're telling lies to the Lord. You're telling God, if you get me out of this one, I'll never drink again. I'll never, ever do that again. That is this face right here. I'll never do it again. And then you do it the very next weekend. JRich, Justin Fields was awful. Prior to him going out with the concussion, he was bad. My man had 2-3 completions going into halftime. He ran around fine, which he can always do. But this is the week-to-week volatility that you're going to get with him throwing the football. So tell the people why you are hating Justin Fields going into week 3.
I just hate him in general, Ray. I'm just going to be honest.
Come on, man.
We can't do this. It's inexcusable. I don't care if you're playing Buffalo. Buffalo's defense isn't that good. It's not 3 for 11 for 27 yards good. It's really not. Justin Fields is an abomination at quarterback. He is dreadful. He came out here 16 for 22, nearly 73% for 218 yards and a touchdown week 1. And he backed that up with 27.3%. Ray, do you know that you add up his completion percentage from game 1 and week 2? It's only 100%. This guy's completing 50% of his passes right now. And how can you feel confident, even against Tampa Bay, solid defense, nothing crazy, that you're going to start Justin Fields? How on earth can you be bought into playing this guy because you cannot live with this volatility. You can't. And that's why I hate Justin Fields. You can't live with the volatility of QB 3 1 week and QB 33 the week after that.
That volatility. I know that volatility. I can live with that volatility. I can live with the volatility, but volatility maybe not so. Because it's fantasy.
You can't live with that.
Because he ran,
He ran for 45 yards.
Yes,
but he fumbled. So there goes 20 yards right there. Huh? Right? So
but
you want to live with that?
That is why everything that you're saying about him throwing the ball. Come on, man. We were not high on him from a passing. And really, the big takeaway is Pittsburgh Steelers defense is ass. I don't know. I don't know what Tomlin has done, but the addition of Jalen Ramsey and the signing of Watt and their defense is giving up 30 points back-to-back weeks. One to Justin Fields and then to Sam Darnold.
To be fair, it wasn't the defense that gave up 30 points. Caleb Johnson gave up 7 of his own.
I understand. The defense still is not good. Cooper Kupp, Kenneth Walker had 100 yards on 10 carries, right? Cooper Kupp had damn near a hundo. JSN had a hundo. Yep. Torrey Horton scored. The defense ain't been good. Who do they play this week? Who's Pittsburgh got this week? Who the hell do they? You
want to know, Ray?
Who the Steelers? I'm looking for
New England. They got New England, baby.
That's big Hendo. You don't like that big Hendo. You don't like that Hendo. That could be the Hendo get right game.
It could be.
Yeah, JRich to Fields is Dennis Allen to Kendre Miller. I think that is. I don't love Fields going in. I just want to know
from the chat, like week 3 forward, rest
is
of season
he healthy?
Forward, like
is he healthy?
How do you feel about that Fields?
Has he cleared concussion protocol?
Right, even
if he's
healthy, even if he's healthy, Ray.
Come on, man.
Okay, he didn't play the fourth quarter. That's not going to save his fantasy day. Like, he was so bad, it doesn't matter if he plays the fourth quarter. You know what? Shout out to Tyrod Taylor. You know why, Ray? He threw a touchdown to Mason Taylor, and he got Garrett Wilson over 40 yards.
He did help propel that.
So
no one was in our chats this week about that G-Dub. Nobody was in the chat this week about that Garrett Wilson. But do you think the Jets would be better with Tyrod Taylor?
In what way?
There we go. That means no. That means
in winning football games, probably not. But for fantasy, absolutely.
Brees Hall was stank too. He didn't. The running game didn't help. The running game didn't help the quarterback out. They had nothing.
Yeah,
they had nothing. Buffalo just put foot to ass and
the Jets spent all of their off season working on that week 1 game plan. They spent the whole. Aaron Glenn said, "We're going to come out fire."
Hey.
Week 1 looked like one of the best teams in the NFL. Lose by 2 points.
They emptied the clip for week 1 to beat that Rodgers. They had season be damned.
The entire offseason on that game plan.
Beat that Rodgers. That's all that matters, and they didn't get it done. And then Aaron Rodgers said. Then the same thing happened with Pittsburgh. Aaron Rodgers was god awful in week 2. And what did he say after winning week 1? I wanted to beat them I wanted to beat everybody in that building. They both emptied the tank for week 1, and that's what you got.
They stank after that.
There it is, JRich. 90 minutes with my dog. 10 things we love / hate going into week 3. We did have one super chat, so I got to get this right here, right now from Anthony. Said 12-team Superflex PPR start 10 rebuilding. Would you trade Jackson Dart and a 26 first, not his, for Joe Burrow? Would still have his own first, second, and 4 thirds. Would you move Dart in a first for Burrow in a rebuild?
Yeah, I would.
I'm fine with that.
I like Dart, but it's
or just
pretty easy.
I feel like that deal will be available to. Here's why I wouldn't do it right now. I feel like that deal will be available to you down the line. I would just ride. I would just let those Dart beans mature a little bit. see if I could squeeze a little bit more out of that, but I'm fine with the deal if you want to.
But I think the problem are we going to see Dart anytime soon?
Not the way that Russ played.
We haven't done a Dart price check anything.
We have not done it. We ain't going to do it today either. We're 90 minutes in. It's not happening today, so we'll do it on Friday potentially. All right, JRich, hit the music, man. I had to do my own damn music on Monday. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate everybody being in the building. This was a dope show. We're going to do this every single Wednesday. 10 things we love and hate going into the next week. There is Trinity content coming on DDFFB. The college football stock report, like, I'm thinking about moving that closer to Friday. Like, no one gives a damn on Monday about college football. Like, no one gives a damn. But Thursday, Friday, I think people care a little bit more. I might stream it live. Maybe a little funner exercise to do it live. So that's still coming. We've got Trinity. We've got stuff on DDFFB. And then y'all know JRich and I will be here on Friday. So make sure you wake up with us. Jay, anything you want to say to the good people before we get out of here today?
Thank you to everybody for tuning in. It is so good to be back. The chat was bumping, and I expect the exact same thing on Friday. So make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't. Drop us a comment below with what you want us to talk about on Friday. And, of course, we will have a banger show. Enjoy Thursday Night Football. We didn't even talk about it, but hopefully the game will be a good one.
Miami,
Bills
Buffalo?
and Dolphins. Start your Bills, baby. Start your
Keon Coleman
Bills.
bounce back. Keon Coleman bounce back.
Oh, yeah.
Keon Coleman
He's
bounce
scoring.
back. Yeah. Enjoy
He's
Thursday Night Football and wake y'all asses up on Friday. We out. Peace.
Peace.